What's up, everybody? Ryan Groth here with the Growth Minded Contractor Show, and I have a super special guest, a friend who's been an acquaintance and becoming more of a friend, and I'm really loving what this friend of mine and guest is doing in the industry. Patrick Carr with Blue Collar Media Group. What's up, man?
Man, Ryan, thank you very much for making your way over here, for doing this with me and stuff. I appreciate it, brother.
Thank you. We're actually doing this at your podcast studio, and then we're going to record part 2, which is going to be you interviewing me after this for your show.
Yeah, you got the best lighting, though. You got this, like, cinematic lighting that CJ set up for you. I kind of like it. We feel like we're on some, like, whatever that guy's name with Mastermind podcast. I can't remember what it is, but you got more of the cinematic. We're going to turn up the lights for mine, so it's all this white light.
I love it. I love it. I love what you're doing, and the reason I have you on the show is that media and content is really becoming more and more important. Yeah. And you have this. You've taken the action to do that. And 95% of your companies that you work with are contractors, super engaged, are very well connected on social, and you're doing some great work. So before we get into the type of work you're doing to helping contractors with their marketing and their video content. Let's hear the quick story of Patrick. You are a 245-pound behemoth of a dude, perfect for the roofing industry, by the way. No, but love the workout background. And man, like, how did you get into roofing? Because you know what they say.
Oh, no one graduates high school and says I want to be a roofer.
No, and they also say once you get into roofing, you don't get out, kind of thing. But you're not just in roofing; you're in other trades, which is part of why I have the contractor show, not just roofer show. But talk to me, man, about your story and like how did you get here? And let's get into that.
Blue Collar Media Group started in April of 2021, and it was done completely out of necessity. I was working for a funding company, and we were funding insurance claims called My Claims Care, and I realized that company did not have the money to fund the claims. And so they were needing me to bring on new clients to pay for old clients and their claims. In other words, bring on ACV checks from new clients to pay the RCV for the people on the back end. And when I figured that out, I quit. But in the process of quitting, they hadn't paid me in a while. I had no income coming in. I had no idea what I was going to do.
Hey, what's up, guys? I hope you are loving this episode. Hey, if you're a contractor looking to scale and grow your business through sales leadership training and sales coaching and training for your team, then look no further. All you got to do is text us at 945-800-4220. 945-800-4220, okay? Or just go to our website, sellonstg.com. Again, if you're a contractor and you want to grow your sales leadership training skills, your sales coaching skills, and you want to grow and help your sales reps get better, we can help commercial companies. We help residential companies. No matter what trade you're in, you just want to transform your business, okay? Come to STG. We hope to see you there. Hey, now back to the episode.
But I called around to every single contractor that we were working with and told them what was happening. Hey, this company doesn't have the money to be able to pay you, but I'm not going to be the fall guy. Here's what happened. I sold it to you. I thought it was right. I'm telling you right now what the truth is. I'm quitting and giving you the information that I have. They all were appreciative, and 2 of them said, well, why don't you do for us what you did for them on social media? Why don't you help us out with the videos? Because we heard about you through social and just do it for our company. Yeah. And I said, well, sure, I'll do that. Now, I had a videographer with the previous company. I never owned a camera, had no idea what an SD card was, had never edited a video in my life. All I had done is use this videographer to be able to do it. So I went to YouTube University. I had zero money, zero. In fact, I tell the story that same week on the Friday, I got a notice on my door that was being foreclosed. I had a week to get out before the bank would send a sheriff and kick me out. All of your stuff put on the sidewalk is what they do in the state of Florida. So I had nothing. First client I go to in Jacksonville, car breaks down on the way there, and I get stuck on a rest stop. I have to call my client, Eco Restore, to get me to pick me up at the rest stop to get me to my first job. I show up, I have no camera because I couldn't afford one. I had a cell phone. And I'm like, he's like, what are you doing? I'm like, well, I'm going to teach you how to use your cell phone to create the best. I had no idea. I just needed money, $4,000 to where I could actually pay my bills and put a roof over my head. Lived in one of those, it's down here on I-4, one of the rent by the month apartment or not hotels. For 3 months, that's where this company started.
Wow, bro.
And so over those 3 months, I was able to get a couple clients and then was able to go in and buy a camera. And then from there, I just learned through YouTube what exactly I wanted to do. And we started then creating great content, doing some podcast stuff, and over the years have tried to grow it into something that we're very proud of, which is professional content for contractors. I saw there was a need because you have marketing companies and you have content creators out there, but they rarely talk to one another and they're rarely accountable. So I wanted to make sure that contractors look like the rock stars and that they are, and that their work was highlighted in the right way through video content. There's the long story. So there you go. That's how I got started with. April 2021, we officially started Blue Collar Media Group.
Awesome. Congratulations. Okay, so I have done a little bit of coaching around recruiting videos in the past. And what I'll teach is like, hey, here's some of the types of things you should say on a video. And what I've found is that contractors, on most of them, really are struggling with like being on camera. Okay. So I want to know about that, because you're probably like coach, director, pump you up. This is what you should say. All right. So let's just pretend I'm an aspiring contractor. I'm not that talented. I can't speak very well. I'm not like the most incredible front of the room leader. And I'm just like, okay, let me ask you this. Do you have to kind of assess to see if they have that before you even decide to work? Or do you like, hey, I can work with this guy. We can do something here. And then what does that look like? Because that's got to be one of the most challenging things you might be running into.
Yes.
Right? It has to be.
100%. They're not trained actors. And most of these guys are running a business. They don't want to be in front of the camera, especially if you're over the age of 35, let's say. You never got into business, but especially if you're a contractor, because you wanted the fame and the glory, let's just say. All right, you went through a freaking bankruptcy, you had nothing, I had no idea what to do, coming off of drug addiction, whatever it is, and you decide to start the company because you needed some cash. And then one thing turned into another, and 10 years later, here's where you're at. So here's how I start. Same thing. I'll go through it with you if it's okay.
Sure.
The first thing I tell them is this. We have to first understand why you're not creating content, all right, Ryan? And the reason you're not creating content is because you're afraid of the judgment of other roofing contractors or other people in your vertical. And you need to embody that first. We need to have a discussion, understand that, is what I tell all of my clients.
Okay.
You are not worried about the judgment of homeowners or business owners that are going to use your service. You could care less what, in fact, they think about your video.
Okay.
You're worried about what your competitor down the street thinks about you, what your family, what your wife, what your sister, what your kids are going to say to you about that video, what your employees are going to say to you, what your friends at the bar are going to say about a video. And we need to understand that about you, and we need to understand that about each other, because we're not going to let the competition take food off the table for you anymore. We're going to stop caring what the roofer, the landscaper, the plumber down the street thinks about your content, because they aren't going to feed your family. And right now, that brick and mortar store that used to be in the early 90s is the front of your Instagram page. It's the ads that you're running because it's what people are going to see. And so I'm sick and tired of letting people take the food off the table for you. So we're going to stop caring about other contractors and care about your brand. Can we do that?
Yes!
Yes, we can. So here's what I want to do. Now, you probably stink on camera. I get it, man. You're nervous. So here's the exercise I do. All right, sales transformation group, right?
Yeah.
So let's just say, what's an affirmation statement or a mission of sales transformation group? Can you give me something, a sentence about the mission or something?
Yeah. So we help contractors build sales organizations.
Good. That's all I need.
Okay.
Contractors build sales organizations.
Yes.
Got it. Okay, here's it. Now, if you were standing in front of the camera with me and I was behind the camera and I can see that you're a little bit nervous right now, this is not going well. We're 10 takes into this thing.
Yeah.
I'm going to come over to you and I'm going to go, okay, Ron, listen, man. All right, we're not pros at this, right? Hey, man, if you were a pro, you'd be a psycho. That's why we're not out in L.A. doing this right now, all right? But here's what I want you to do. We got 3 ways. We're going to get this first line out. Help contractors build sales organizations, right? That's our first line. We just got to get it done here today. So here's what I want you to do. First thing I want you to do is I need you to say this line with a lot of excitement.
Okay.
Like, I mean, used car salesman 1995. You're watching the Toyota commercial that comes on. I need help contractors build sales. I need that from you. So I need you to do this right now like you're doing it like a used car salesman. Can you go through that line for me? Come on, give it to me. You got this.
No, I'm just joking. Yeah.
Used car salesman, Toyota. Let's come on down to the dealer. Hey.
Put that on the blooper reel.
There we go. Love it.
Hey, we help contractors build high-performing sales organizations.
I love it. Now I need you to do that exact same thing, all right?
Okay.
But I need you to do it sad, distraught.
Okay.
Like, I mean, this is like you just got done watching into Homeward Bound, all right? Like the shadow came over that hill. I mean, it is just, it's been a long day and it's been an emotional one, all right? So give me that, like, I mean, Break this down for me, okay?
This is good.
Come on.
We
Mm-hmm.
we help contractors build sales organizations.
Sad. All right. And the final way I need you to do this. I need you to just nonchalant. So I need you to do this like a, kind of whatever. So just kind of like, it's just, whatever.
That should be easy.
Yeah.
We help contractors build, sales teams, sales organizations.
Okay. So all three of those probably did not feel natural, right?
Very much so, yes.
Okay. So we're done acting now. All right. We're done with the acting side. So you can see what we don't like now. Mm-hmm. Part of defining who you are is by defining what you're not. We know you're not the hyper guy. We know you're not the sad guy. And we know you're not nonchalant. All right?
Sure.
Right? So what are you? You want to be somebody that people pay attention to. All right? I need you to go somewhere and find your voice between all three of these right now.
Okay.
And that's what I want you to do. So what we're going to do is we're going to take a couple seconds here. And I want you to think about your voice, how you want people to recognize you. All right? It is not hyper guy. It's not sad guy. And it's not nonchalant guy. And then you close your eyes for me, and we're going to do this together. In about 3 seconds, I need you to open them, and I need you to tell me in the most convincing way that you help contractors build sales organizations. Let's close our eyes. I'm going to count down from 3, and then we're going to give it to me, okay? So we do 3, 2, 1. Tell me.
We help contractors build sales organizations.
Got it. How did that feel?
It was okay.
Okay.
Better than the other 3.
That's perfect. Now we're going to do one final exercise here, and then that's how we're going to get our final thing. I want you to do the exact same thing you just did, but I want your first word to be your breath. So in other words, like this. We help contractors build sales organizations. Okay. I want you to start help as you're breathing out on your first breath in the same way you just did it. Let's do it in 3, 2, and 1.
We help contractors build sales organizations.
Perfect. Okay. There we go. And so these 3 things, between doing that, we get the middle one, and then we do the breath exercise. Okay. It's how we get people right here to try to find their voice. Because what I don't want people to do is I don't want them to be the used car salesman. I don't need that guy. Mm-hmm. You'll get real sick of creating content when you're that guy.
For sure.
God, it's so fake. So I don't think, I try to tell people, just because you see your favorite YouTuber doing something, don't mean that you do. We got to find your voice as a person.
It's cool.
And then we never leave that. Let's just stay in that F note or whatever it is.
Yeah.
We stay there.
Wow. Right. So that's great. So that was fun. That was like, it kind of brought me into these, it's like different pitches.
Yeah.
I was watching a guy talk about communication, and I went through his little course, and he had some of those exercises like have yourself on camera and say this thing, and you read it out. And then watch yourself. Yep. And then next time, just put the camera down and just listen to yourself. And then so he was like helping you coach yourself and self-correct how you'd want to improve.
5-5. It's a 5-5-5.
Oh, do it muted and then watch your body language. And say, so body language,
So it's what it is. It's 5 minutes of talking. So then you just listen to yourself for 5 minutes, 5 minutes of watching yourself on mute, and then 5 minutes reading what you said back, transcribed to you.
Transcribed. That's what it was.
So you can use a couple different apps to be able to do that. So you can see your filler words that you're using and things that don't make any sense.
That's right.
So we call it the 5-5-5 rule. A lot of times if somebody's nervous, I'll tell them to do that. And it does help. You can talk about anything you want if you know baseball. Just talk about baseball for 5 minutes, talking to the camera, and you'll be able to see some of the things you don't like.
Yeah, because this is like it's like a skill, right? It's like we're not actors, we're contractors, right? Yep. And I think that was kind of similar. It reminded me of that, of trying different pitches and different characters, essentially. Characters.
Yes.
So be a used car salesman, try that out. No, that's super fun. So when you do that, now you're at a stage where you probably have somebody that does that for you or do you do that person?
So people like CJ behind the camera right now, my senior editors are good enough to do exercises like this. They've seen me do it, and they know how to break people down. Mm-hmm. Also, what I've learned is like CJ he's behind the camera, everybody, is our best teacher on the team. We do an exercise where we look at skills and things that people are really good at, and everybody knows that CJ is the best teacher. So CJ has a much different approach to making people feel easy than what I do. Mm-hmm. So I encourage everybody on my team, you've got to have your own style. When you're a senior person out there, you may not do this, but you better have something in your repertoire that's going to be able to calm somebody down and help them find their voice.
Yeah,
and they all do.
Yeah, that's super fun.
Yeah.
So when that happens, how fast do you see them respond quickly? Do you see them take a while? Do you see what's the typical response time until this becomes, you start to feel like it's working for the contractors?
A lot of times, unfortunately, it doesn't happen, the aha moment, until they see the video completed.
Okay.
And we're going through these scenes a lot of time the first time we're out there, and it's like 7 different scenes. You're climbing a ladder, you're on top of a roof, you're a landscaper on top of a mower. Like, you feel awkward. You're saying that it doesn't work. But then these guys take it and make the magic happen, and they bring it together, transitions and music and cinematic, and all that. Yeah. And then they see it and they go, oh, now I get it. And next time we go out there with them, they're like, oh yeah, I got it. I know how this is going to look now. They feel more comfortable. But it's that aha moment when they finally see the video.
That's awesome, man. So, and I just think that people still buy from people. I was having an interview with a $60 million company, and they still, like, the owner is the first sales guy. They do a lot of commercials and things with him in particular. And at the end of the day, they trust him, and he's a likable, trustworthy professional. And I just think it's a smart thing. It's smart for contractors to not hide and just assume that people don't want to see that. And people they're looking at Instagram, they're looking at everything, they're looking at your pages, they're wondering if you know what you're talking about, if you're trustworthy, if you have a good personality. It's a competitive market out there.
Yep.
I was just watching. I was completely on the Liver King train, and I watched The Untold on Netflix last night. I was like, all right, this is like 30 minutes. I'll watch this. He had my attention for probably about a year and a half when he was doing his thing. And I didn't know this, but man, like, and it's obvious now, it makes sense. He had hired an agency to help him. Did you see The Untold one?
I haven't seen it, but I know that he did hire an agency.
So he hired an agency, and that's kind of what I'm seeing here is, like, somebody who can help you come to life. And he was, kind of boring and on camera, and it showed before. And then he's like, Primals, he was doing all that. Oh, and he's like freaking on, doing fireworks on jet skis, and he's like, Primals, just like, holy crap, dude. Like, that's crazy how viral. I mean, his videos, you remember that, right?
Oh my gosh, yeah.
It was awesome to watch.
He was everywhere. He was on podcasts. He's on Andrew Schultz. He's going over here. He was everywhere with his shirt off, sitting there doing interviews. I mean, the guy was he was on top of the world there for a while.
He was killing it, bro. And it's just a liar, just a complete liar. Now he's eating vegetables in his garden. I mean, he still looks great because I don't know. I mean, whatever. But all that said, it was just wild to see, and it's a very vivid illustration of the local contractor who wants to start getting his message out and be more of a personable. I think that what they did was they went real polarizing, right? Eating cow nuts and testicles and freaking, kids eating liver and his wife's eating testicles.
Yeah,
it's crazy, bro. What they were doing, and he's just like, guns and stuff, and I was just like, all right, this guy, they know what they're doing. So when you start to get a contract, and I'm not saying you do that, I'm not imposing that. What I want to ask more of is, when you start to strategize content, how do you start to help a contractor who finds their voice? Do you stay within certain lanes? Do you have to really understand them? Do you want to know their tolerance for viral type content? What's all this? What's that like for you when you're working with somebody who's like, okay, I'm just going for my job site. Okay, let's go to the job site. All right, cool. Let's talk about this job. This is what we had before. This is what we have now. Or are you like, nah, dude, forget that. Let's get this out and get your kids and get your dog and, and then do something crazy on a lake, or I don't know. Like, there's a million ideas. And like Liver King was just thinking about that last night. Like, they were doing some of the craziest stuff, bro. Yeah. And it was awesome. But,
great.
I don't think, I'm curious about your approach.
So a couple things came to my mind right there. So the first thing that we always start with our clients is to understand what their needs are. So for instance, if their needs are, they want to go viral, maybe they just want millions of views. They just want to that's what they want to do. Well, then the content that we create is going to be different than the person who wants process videos to integrate with their CRM so that every step in the sales process.
All that.
Yeah. So we're trying to figure out what are your real needs with video content, and also establish some needs that you don't think you or even know you have, what other people are using video for. So first thing we want to do that is we first want to figure out what their needs are. Let's assume, though, that it's going to be marketing and lead generation. The next thing they need to understand is that we're probably, if we need to do that, going to do little about the actual thing that you do.
Yeah.
For instance, roofing is boring. It's not Donald Trump and it's not a girl in a bikini. All right. So if you think people are going to stop on your effing roofing video because you're using some underlayment that is like no one gives a shit at all. But when we edit videos and a guy's getting run over by a truck or his Tesla's blowing up or he's getting, all that crazy stuff, people will stop and pay attention. So what we want to do is establish that and then understand with them, we're not going to film your roofing stuff most of the time. We're going to look for something in your community that people will relate to.
Yeah.
And then we're going to target that. Great example. Yeah. The Villages is down the street, largest retirement community. Mm-hmm. One of the most popular videos, gain millions of dollars for our client, is they get run over by a golf cart.
Nice.
Jason, hey, can you pull up Dropbox? We'll do it. Gets run over by a golf cart by two old ladies in this neighborhood because everyone's got a golf cart in this neighborhood. Well, it's like Eustace Roofing understands your neighborhood, your area, right? And you got to dodge golf carts and golf balls around here is what he's saying. That's what you have to understand. What is the purpose of this entire thing? And then the final thing you mentioned right there is a tolerance for virality. And I think that a lot of people underestimate how difficult it is to have a video go viral. Last year, I had one of the top 10 most viral clips on Instagram in the entire year in the world. 132 million views and counting right now.
One of yours?
Yeah. So here's this.
All right, let's check this out. Who's this?
This is Jason with Eustace Roofing.
Roofing in the Villages isn't just about putting a quality roof up.
Holy shnikes, bro.
It's also about dodging golf carts and golf balls. Eustace Roofing has been servicing the Villages for over 4 generations. It only makes sense to go with the experience that makes the difference.
22 seconds, boom. Running in the Villages, crushing everybody up there right now. That's the kind of stuff where we know the area. It's a retirement community. We only want to do that. So I want to understand their purpose of this video and where they're going to be located. And then when I talk about tolerance for virality, when you do 132 million on a I've got thousands of comments talking about the way I look, my bald head, steroids, whatever it is, right? You're going to get a lot. And I think that people far underestimate the power of a negative comment on their psyche.
Yeah, let's talk about that.
So please, this
is a big one. All right, because I remember my first time running ads, people were like, who's this freaking clown? And I was like, don't say that about me. Yep. I'm nice. Yeah.
Yep.
Who gives a crap? All right, so I want to, first off, so that was a commercial being ran on TV, right?
Streaming on that one, yeah. Streaming services and social media.
That was awesome. You know what I was thinking about? One of my favorite movies is Happy Gilmore.
Oh, yeah.
I was thinking about that. What were they like in the to see grandma, and then like the lady goes on this windshield, get me out of here. I'm like, oh, that would be an amazing ad for the Villages.
Oh, it's great.
Yeah, it's like, oh, but something about my roof. That was really awesome.
Can you pull up door knocking, Dolan? So yeah, I mean the negative comment thing. I tell my clients this because they will let negative comments get to them, especially if they see the negative comments.
Can
right?
we close that thing? It's bothering. I don't know if
I don't know if it will.
All right, I'll tolerate it. It's all right.
Yeah, sorry.
All right, so
it comes right back. I don't know what we're doing in this wrong. So here we go. Let's make the door knocking stop.
So the negative comments, bro. No lie. That's a freaking.
You have to ask one question: is it true? Okay, this is
the
how I
evidence?
start. Yeah. So, but you have to ask yourself this: if it's bothering you. A lot of times, for especially men, the reason it bothers you so much is there's a sliver of truth to what they're saying, or you feel about yourself.
Okay.
There's some truth. It's something that internally you're dealing with. Mm-hmm. So if somebody comments steroids or, loser or whatever, meathead on one of my things, it doesn't bother me. Now, isn't it crazy that when someone has said something about a lisp, like if they hear it, and then that bothers me because that's the thing I'm insecure about. I've had a lisp since I was a little kid. And so that one bothers me because there's some truth to it about how I internally feel about myself. And then some people might say, well, this is a crappy company. They screwed me over, whatever. I worked for them and they didn't pay me. Is that true? Well, we didn't pay him okay, so there is some truth to it. You need to decide why it's bothering you. And it's either going to be externally a decision that you made within your company or internally something you're dealing with yourself. about the real reason it's getting to you.
Bro, I don't hear a list, by the way. Just saying.
Thank you. I appreciate
No
that.
list there.
Thank you. You want to do this one?
You are a meathead, though. Bro.
Yeah.
Let's get real.
Let's be honest.
Hey, I just happen to be in the neighborhood. We're actually, hey, it's limited time offer. Free estimate.
Before you open the door to just any roofer, ask him these 3 important questions. Are you local? How long have you been in business? And what do your reviews look like? These questions will help you make the right choice for your home. With Dolan Roofing and Construction, you won't feel pressured into a sale. Just honest, expert service from a trusted local team. Skip the door knockers and get real results with Dolan Roofing and Construction. Call now or visit dolanroofing.com.
It's just really professional, man.
Thanks. So they're running this one streaming service, San Antonio, Texas right now, because they're having a problem in their community with door knocking. And so now they're blanketing an area in the streaming services and using it online to say, hey, listen, to fight back against what's happening over there after the hailstorms. And they want to be somebody that they know, hey, we're not leaving this community. We're here for you. We've been here for 10 plus years, and their ads and their stuff has been pointed to that.
Dude. So can I throw some of the personal stuff? I'm
Anything.
gonna get into personal because I like growth. Growth minded doesn't mean just making more revenue and increasing your sales or anything like that. It's also about your human side of you, the personality, the personal growth. So were you a professional bodybuilder, amateur bodybuilder? Amateur bodybuilder. I mean, you're a few years into this. You're 38 years old. So what? From like 20 to 35, what were you doing?
Just bodybuilding, lifting, doing steroids, thinking I was going to make it in, IFBB.
Okay.
Going to Mr. Olympia, working the booths.
Got that. Okay.
And I was doing that a lot. That was a big part of my life.
So that's a huge commitment of time, but let's talk about all the great things that came out of that. So that you're seeing today. You're a year. You told me, if this is too much information, we can
anything. Please
so you're a year steroid free.
Year steroid free, and almost a year testosterone free now. So HCG and Clomid are a part of my daily routine right now. Some other things to keep my estrogen.
What are those?
So HCG is kind of like what are those little things you put on your heart? This is like that to get your heart going again, like that for your balls. So it's a little injection that I take every morning, trying to get my balls.
In your balls?
No, right here, like here in my shoulder. I wouldn't. Goddamn, it's a little insulin needle. So I do a little bit of microdose of that, and Clomid clears your system out, clearing out your cells at a cellular level, so that you can start to get the right kind of stuff back into your blood.
Okay.
And then those two have been the main thing, and then Arimidex, I do a microdose of that, or Novadex, to keep my estrogen a little bit lower, because I'm trying to get my testosterone up, and with testosterone comes estrogen. So I want to make sure that I'm somewhat suppressing that so I don't look as bloated, and I don't get bitch tits. So like these are the things I've really had to consider over the last year, and then also still have enough energy and enough of how aggressive.
I mean, dude, you're still plenty aggressive, though.
But you know what? I've got to have that.
You still got it, though.
Yeah, I mean, it hurts a lot more. I mean, everything does, but
like this soreness.
Oh, yeah. Oh man, I missed people. I have people tell us, or people ask me, "Do you miss it?" Hell yeah, I miss it. I miss doing steroids.
So
it felt great.
You're like just superhuman for 15 years or whatever.
Right. It felt awesome to walk into the gym and not ever hurt, not be sore. Joints feel great, no matter how much. It feels awesome. Now you're destroying yourself on the inside, and I thought there were bigger goals, and there are bigger goals in my life now to have a family.
Yeah.
And so yeah, I'm different time in my life.
Do you? That's amazing, bro.
Yeah.
So now, you're appears to be a very disciplined guy. I would imagine some of the habits that set in. Have you found a way to like take your ability to create habits and put that into your business success, or are you still maintaining those fitness habits, or are you finding like those to be successful in your business? Like you're very talk to me a little bit about the translation from that chapter to what you're benefiting from today or what you're working on.
So right after the whole bodybuilding thing, I really didn't like the world very much. I went through a real phase with a lot of drugs after that, because I hadn't made it in bodybuilding. I devoted so much of my life to that sport, which gave me absolutely nothing except a body that was breaking down. I had no personal life that I could think of, and I felt like I missed out on a lot of professional and personal things in life.
Wow.
And so to help cope with that, cocaine was the number one thing that I did. And for me, that was the big thing. And I got involved with coke for a while and some partying and drugs and stuff. And I went through about 3 years of life from, let's say, your 31 to 34 time, where I was really involved doing that.
Wow.
And so had to really find my way out of that hole. And once I found my way out of that, I started to have kind of a passion for life again, more than just like, hey, listen, 3 to 4 days a week, I'm just going to roll face, do Molly and ecstasy and cocaine. And I found myself again.
How'd you do that?
I think that you have to hit a low point. And that's what I had to do. It was March, it was St. Patrick's Day, 2019. It was St. Patrick's Day, 2019. So I was, about 33, 34 then. And I was Baker acted. I was trying to cut myself. I had gone through an entire day of drinking alcohol. I had started a new job and it was just like a really bad time. And I was like in between like company that I'd worked with. I had quit for a different reason. Then I was going back to them and I felt like my life was just going in reverse and I was in a really bad space mentally. But coming out of that, I said, man, there was something very real about being in that place for 4 days. And I can still smell like the bleach on the floor, like you're around a bunch of people that are schizophrenics and stuff along those lines. And you go, is this where I want my life to go? And so that was the low point. I was like, okay, I've hit the low point now. Now let's start to build myself back up. So that's what happened. And that's when, about a year later, somewhere around in there, started Blue Collar Media Group and went from there.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
You're making up for some lost time, but, I see you crushing like what you're doing. I'm proud of you for that.
Thank you, man. And
it's amazing.
It's interesting for me. I mean, I was thinking about this earlier on the way over here. When I first saw you, man, you were larger than life. I'm going to try not to get emotional. I remember the first place I saw you was here in Orlando at a conference. And I remember like, man, this guy's so charismatic. I was brand new to the industry, right? And I remember you had this in the booth at Dimitri's conference. It was at the very end down there. And I was like, man, this guy is so fucking charismatic. He's good looking. He's jacked. He's a baseball player. Like, man, I need to be this in the industry, right?
Wow.
And I now to be able to sit down with you, and it's a real honor. It's a privilege because I've looked up to you for a long time, secretly and privately. I haven't told you that, but that it's a fun moment for me because I looked up to you so much, and I was just thinking like, man, this guy's got it together. The family, the company which I like, and you were branding it the right way, and all the people were good looking that you work with, and all this stuff. I was just like, man. And it was so cool, man.
Wow. That's super sweet of you to say that, man. Thank you.
It's true.
Yeah.
I remember that day. It was it Dimitri's conference? Was that what it was?
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember that.
I remember that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was here. It was at the Rosen, right?
Yep, it was.
Wow. I remember meeting you, and man, you were just working super hard. You had people lining up to do interviews. I was like, I want to be over there, man. Like, I want to get involved. And you were asking me super thoughtful questions right to the jugular. We had a compressed timeline.
Yep.
We were like
getting
things kind of done. And you're like, well, what does that mean, transformation? You're like,
God.
And I was like, all right, here we go. So, and I've just seen you be consistent and like relational out there and stand for things that you believe in, and then, producing great work. And, so I'm honored that you're getting married.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to propose in 2 weeks. And when this comes out, we'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see when it is. But she knows it's coming. She knows the day that I'm going to propose. So this is not a big secret here or anything.
Yeah. Okay. Good.
So not a problem when this comes out. She knows I'm going to propose. So crossing my fingers, she'll say yes. I think I've got a good chance. So
wow.
It's good.
Dude, that's amazing. Because a lot of people, like, I'm just going to say this, and people listening to this, like, there's either somebody in your company who has probably dealt with some drug addiction. There's people or themselves listening, who's dealt with some identity issues around performance and looks and aesthetics and how people view you and all this stuff. And you are sharing what I think is quite a bit of inspiration to come out of that. And not very many people climb out of that. So I'm just really honored to be able to hear that part of your story. It's amazing.
I've said this before. I think you'll relate to this. I think the most profound prayer that you can have for a person is that they win the battle they tell nobody about today. And that all those are so important because you don't have to win the battle tomorrow, whatever you're dealing with. You don't have to win it tomorrow. You just have to win it today. And there is something, when I say that everybody is struggling with inside they tell nobody about. You're struggling with it in your marriage, personally, professionally, in your career. You can't tell your partner about, or your employees about, or whatever it is. There is something you got bottled up inside that you're dealing with. And I think the most profound prayer you can have is that you win that battle today, that you tell nobody about. And that book over my shoulder, The Power of One More, you don't got to make it tomorrow. You don't got to not do the drug tomorrow. You just have to not do it today. Make it through today, and then worry about tomorrow. So that would be what I'd pray for somebody who views your show, is that if they are struggling with something, man, you just win that battle today. Win that battle you tell nobody about.
Wow.
The other thing I say to my employees, and CJ's heard me say this, is there are going to be times where you have a choice to make. And one of the things that helped me the most is it's okay to stop a bad decision. So just because you take 2 drinks doesn't mean you have to take 3. Just because you did 2 lines doesn't mean you have to do 10. Just because it's 11 p.m. and you're out doesn't mean you have to stay out till 2. Whatever you're struggling with right now, when you start a bad decision, it's okay to stop it. And this has helped me a lot, because I used to go down the rabbit hole. Like, well, I don't know, I've already done 3 lines of code. I'm just going to keep rolling tonight. Whatever, tonight's screwed as it is, whatever. I'm going down the rabbit hole. No, it's not. You can still stop. Push your way away from the table.
Okay.
Stop the affair that you're having. Whatever it does, just because you started it doesn't mean you have to continue it.
Oh.
You're lying to a client or a colleague or your business partner. You can end that today. Go get clean and tell them what's going on. All right? So it's okay to stop a bad decision with something that really helped me out a lot, because I don't think many people just go, oh, I'm great, I'm good. No, you're going to go back and forth. You're going to continue to make mistakes. So give yourself a little bit of grace to say it's okay to stop that bad decision.
Wow. Dang, man. So I just want to say this. I hope you and your future family and your business continues to prosper. And I hope you are an amazing father. Hopefully that this whole experiment of getting your twig and giggleberries working to have some kids, I hope that's a success. And, that you're all that you're going for, man. I'm proud of how you've recovered from a very, very low point. I mean, I've had addiction in my family. My dad died at 48 years old of a drug overdose. So I was impacted as a kid and a young man about, that kind of formed how I think, and where, so in our industry is full of this, type of stuff. And so I'm just, it's great to hear this.
I appreciate you giving me the opportunity to tell it, man. So a lot of times I'm in front of the camera talking about just content. So it's nice to be able to talk about something else besides videos. So I like it. Videos are great. It's what I do for a living, but it's nice to be able to talk about something else. So thank you very much for the opportunity. Thank you.
Sure. So love the work you're doing. So bluecollarmediagroup.com.
Yeah, you got it.
Yeah, you guys go check out Patrick. He's got some packages that are very hands-on, white glove type of service and pretty straightforward. And check them out. Thank you for tuning in.
Thanks, I appreciate it, buddy.
Yep.
So.